Welcome back, everyone, to Third Street Reactions. I'm Zach.
I'm Shane.
We are back with Attack on Titan, Season 3, Episode whatever.
21. Guys, remember, when we start the reaction, just click on that link. It takes you to our Patreon, and it's available for everyone to watch because we can't put it on YouTube. And then just come back here for the post-talk.
Do you remember what happened last time?
It was one of my favorite moments in this series because I like character moments. I love action, number 1. Number 2, I love comedy. Number 3, I love character moments. To me, when he just fucking, watch closely, Grisha. This is how we of the Nine use our power. And then that when the music swells and he cuts himself.
He's throwing the boat up and everything.
And he is one of the 9. And in terms of what that means, that's to be determined actually in this episode. Not to harp on it too long because we kind of did that in our post talk, which you should go watch because it's awesome. We had like a really cool kind of shonen anime. And it's like a revenge story. He's like, I just want to wipe out these things that are kind of nameless and faceless for my mom. You get the sense that there's like not like some villain at the top that like, oh, he's a guy actually. It's just these monsters. But now it's opened up to be kind of like this, I don't know what they're called.
There's a system.
There is a type of system, yeah. And it's like, okay, these are coming from something. And these were people.
Yeah. And
these were actually people that were related to me. Mm-hmm. And they all did not want this to happen to them. It was horrible. And to me, the big thing in the last episode was the history of Grisha. Obviously, his sister.
Yeah. Fucking horrible.
To me, it just brought me to tears.
I'm glad to see that fat guy fucking get what he deserved.
Yeah, he had like I'm not good at metric, but like one of the smaller Titans.
Yeah.
Which is like much more.
So many meteor Titans, and like he's getting his head squished in between the jaws, and you see it.
He's like, ah! Yeah. And you think about just like, yeah.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him. And he's like, oh, I suppose it's just interesting. I will say the performance of that guy, like, you're supposed to hate him. And they did a great job at it. Yeah. And the voice actor was great, too. Because he wasn't like, Krueger, like, he's just a badass. And he sounds cool.
The owl. And
if he doesn't sound cool, you don't like him. But if he sounds cool, you expect it. So you take it for granted. But that guy has a hard job. Because he has to be like a guy that you hate, but it's like...
Still have to sound cool.
He has to sound cool, and he's talking about in a way where it's just like... He's
nonchalant and kind of...
Yeah, like that's like almost like a worse kind of evil.
Yeah.
Like when they're intelligent. He took out those boats, and that's, pretty much it. We're going to jump in. Guys, if you want to support us, just go to Patreon. We have the next 4 episodes on there now. We also have full length. Let's go. Who knows? It might not work at all.
But if the military knew it was a possibility...
It would only be Historia, though.
Historia?
Guys, thanks for watching our reaction on Patreon. It's available for everyone. You don't have to pay. And now we are going to discuss one of the biggest episodes to me that I've seen thus far. Definitely in terms of lore, it's huge.
Well, I mean, it's a big dump. I mean...
First of all, what do you think? What do you think?
I don't know why Krueger would know about Armin and Mikasa.
Yeah.
From his own memories, even though they haven't been born yet.
Yeah.
Because they're all the same age as Eren.
I have a theory.
I have a feeling that Eren was named after him.
Yep.
So...
It's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just... It's like Snape.
I guess on a surface level, though, I said that I believe that you would be very satisfied with a lot of the answers. So, was I wrong or right?
No, I like it. I like the series. I think it's improved after I've gotten the answers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool to... The sea, for some reason, has always like been this symbol of freedom, and now we kind of it's defined for our characters here.
Yeah,
that it's real.
It reminded me of Armin and what he knew about the sea. Where he heard about it in a book.
Yeah,
and everything.
A legal book.
Yeah.
So all the Eldians are subjects of Ymir, and because Ymir, when she got her power from the quote unquote from the devil or God,
Ymir.
She died at 13 years.
Yeah, Eren has 8 years left. He's only 15, which means he'll only live until 23.
And then Armin, of course, is 13. Like, would you feel like, oh shit, we got 13 years to live? I mean, if I was Eren, I'd be like, oh fuck. But if I was Armin, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm glad. Like, nothing can kill me, but now I know when I'm going to go. I can make the most out of it. That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it?
He only had 13 years left to live.
It was either die then or have 13 years left. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. 13 years left to live.
What would I do?
Which one or the other? It doesn't really matter. You have 13 years left. That's all you know.
What would I do?
Yeah.
Maximize my time with my children. I'd actually find a lot of meaning in our YouTube channel. I would balance it better to where, I was meaningfully working towards something that I believe is really cool with people I love, obviously you, and I tend to do it with my kids and my cousin and Tom and Matt. But I would probably even more maximize the time I have with them. Any time that I try to dedicate to myself, which is, I would minimize that so it basically would be nilch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a blood test to see if you are Eldian, which is just kind of interesting. I wonder what happens when we did talk about this. Like, does the blood thin over time? I don't know.
Yeah, her breeding.
Like, if a Marleyan, or if anyone from the world it breeds with an Eldian, that child, I guess, is half Eldian, but, is it still a subject of the Ymir?
Yeah, what markers are there?
Yeah, like, is it still a subject of the Ymir after that?
Yeah.
I mean, just like regular genetics, I feel like things...
You would thin out.
Things would thin out of the gene pool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I imagine that might be true, because there's a fantasy for sure, but there's like a scientific element to this show. I mean, if all the Eldian population are being pinned up together, then they're going to keep being pure. Makes sense. But obviously it makes sense that they bred with other people without
purer
history.
than they would be
or
if they're
these
intermarrying.
Marleyan soldiers would rape them. You know what I mean?
If they're purer than they would be if they're intermarrying with other people and being part of society.
Yeah. I love Aaron Krueger. I love hearing him talk. I love hearing him talk about doctors make good spies. I don't know why everything that man says I love.
Yeah.
Dinah, he allowed her to die.
Yeah.
The reason why
You know, the Marleyans getting a hold of her and using her to pump out babies.
Yeah, but here's the question. And I think I might know the answer to this based on a theory that I collaborated with at my old channel after seeing some more information, but I don't know if it's true. But why didn't Krueger make a move when he got to the wall? Why didn't he just save everyone then?
I don't know. I guess in my opinion, just determined by the facts that you get at the end of it, that wouldn't really do any good. Like the long game is that you can't just save all these people. Like, that's not the game. These people doing what they do from inside the walls of Marietta, it's not the long game. The long game is infiltrating.
Yeah. Why did he save Dinah?
Whatever that little kingdom is.
Parody, the island.
Yeah.
Inside the
Infiltrating the island, getting the founding titan. That is the long game. So to me, I feel like no matter what has to be sacrificed for that, you cut it out.
Seemingly, he could have saved Dinah, who is of royal blood there. Like,
he said that he wouldn't do any good.
He didn't answer the question about saving everyone. He did say, I wanted her to die before Zeke gave more information.
Yeah.
But at that moment, I think he could have saved definitely her and him. And they could have made it to the wall, I think. Because he says, like, only one can make it through all those titans to the wall. I'm thinking, well, I don't really buy that. And later on, we see outside the wall, I mean, there's regular soldiers who were running around without titan powers. And the armored titan was carrying Bertolt, and, they can get out of there,
Yeah.
Okay.
He also said he's pretty much on his deathbed. His 13 years were up.
Yeah.
So we need to keep this game going. You need to take my titan.
Yeah.
You get in there, find the founding titan, marry a stranger.
Yeah, because if you're of royal blood, you can maximize the power, but you can't. Your will is bound to the will of the king.
Yeah, you're fucked. If you were to get one of those founding, the founding titan or whatever, the founding titan in particular, if you have a royal blood, then your mind is going to be.
Yeah, we're staying in the walls.
Yeah, so there's really no benefit to a member of the royal family having that power. And it's more to the benefit of the people in that situation for it to be stripped of the royal family. Yeah. So they can't keep keeping them there.
Yeah, so it's basically a farce anyways. I guess to me, why... I don't know if this is answered, but this show is pretty good at answering things. Are we going to find out? Or is there a reason, like, why do you just want to go inside these walls and die? Like, you just live here with your people. You make a threat. Like, if you attack us, I'm going to unleash all these colossal titans.
Yeah, that... I don't understand quite why the royal family has this mentality yet. I just know that in terms of what their game plan is and taking the founding titan away from the royal family, it makes the most sense because that way they can keep using it to maintain the status quo.
Yeah. Aaron Krueger, he's unaware of even the circumstances because royal blood wasn't even...
said that...
Well, what I'm saying is inside the wall, the royal blood wasn't even in power. It was all these bureaucrats.
It wasn't in power, but they still had the power to... keep everyone's memories wiped away. Yeah. They didn't maintain power politically, like maintaining like every rules and conduct of everyday life. Yeah. But they said, hey, you are not going to know anything about what's out there.
Oh, yeah.
So that is like the power, so to speak.
You're right. I guess what I'm saying is like the king who was within the walls was actually a proxy king. I know. And it was like the royal...
My point is like that guy, the actual king is like, hey, the royalty... I don't have any interest in running this. Yeah. You can run it, but overall, the grand scheme is that no one's ever going to know. Yeah. Do you think they just wanted this? Because obviously Rod and his brother Ymir, like when they were young, they wanted to overcome the will of the king.
and restored Eldia.
Yeah, but then once Ymir inherited it.
Yeah, I mean, even Rod, who was the only royalty left that we knew until his story obviously was hidden, like he had a boss. They went and killed his family because he had sex with someone else, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like they were trying to control that blood and keep track of it at least, you know? But he was more like, it's like he was on the board, you know, instead of just being like an absolute
that I sacrificed!
Yeah.
Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
Back to formula?
Like I love Aaron in terms of like his revenge story. Like I love those. Like, to me, those movies can never get old. But now it's like the people of Eldia have a revenge story now almost.
They do. I mean, they've been victimized.
It makes me see the Eldians differently, for sure. Like you know, I don't. You know, it's like the people who are eating people. I hate those people. Fuck them because they're mindless. I would kill them because they're not in there anymore. Yeah. But it's a sad deal.
I think what happened to Dinah was probably the saddest that I've seen so far in terms of people being turned into Titans.
Yeah, and she's...
Like Ymir, I sympathize with Ymir.
Yeah, did you see the vision of what happened to her?
Historia was touching the letter, and she saw like the past and everything that Ymir went through.
Because she has royal blood, so I think... to me, I don't know if there's blood on it or sweat, but there was something on there for her to be able to connect with... Because she's not the coordinate, so I don't know how she saw it, but there's something in her...
Well, she can connect because Ymir was one of the Titans, one of the 9. Yeah. She ate that other guy and became one of the 9. So to me, it just says like, well, she wrote that letter to her and she was able to connect with her. Yeah. Like, whatever DNA evidence is, whatever you spread every day through everything you fucking do. But so you know, her only regret was that she couldn't marry her. Yeah. And Historia. But that was very sweet. I thought that was very touching, and you know, we already been through most of Ymir's shit. She's already gone. Yeah. But it's still a touching moment, and the Historia was touched by it. I like how they let her write that letter. Like, why would they do that? Well, that's what she was writing about. Oh, yeah. What's his name? Reiner. Yeah. He's overlooking. He's like just watching the whole time. Yeah. Even though he knows his love letter, he's just sitting there staring. It's because he wants to bang Historia himself, remember? Yeah. So it's like this love triangle. So do you see why Marley would want to... You know, they've had the power of these Titans. Obviously, the ones that we've seen right now, and there's more we haven't seen. There's more that I haven't seen. Mm-hmm. Right now, I've only seen, what, the duck-faced piece of shit, the Beast Titan, the Attack Titan, now that we know. Oh, what do you think of the name? It's a good name. I like it. The Armor Titan, Colossal Titan. Yeah. That's and the Founding Titan. Yeah. So it's 6. Yes. And the Attack Titan looks a little different than Aaron's Attack Titan. Like, you know, like Aaron's is more like a dog almost. Did you see Krueger had like teeth? Like he had people teeth and like a regular person mouth. But Aaron's Attack Titan has people teeth too, but it's the way the jaw's set up. You have the teeth in front, and then there's these skin things, and then it comes up and goes back again. Yeah, that's interesting. But it makes sense that they look a little bit different with every person, because when Grisha had it, it was different too. It looked a lot different, didn't it? So it was like hairier. Yeah. But so Grisha sounds like a hairy name, doesn't it? It's a cool ass name. I like Grisha, yeah. So there's 6 that we've seen so far. Yeah. Essentially, I think. The shitty duck face one, the Beast Titan, the armored, the Colossal, the Attack, and the Ymir. Oh, I'm sorry, Ymir, and then the Founding Titan. Yes, and the Founding Titan is. So it's like 7. Yeah. And Aaron has Aaron has the Founding Titan, and he has the Attack Titan. Yes. So that's 7. So there's 2 we haven't seen. That I haven't seen. Okay, yeah. I'm sure right now. I want to think that there's more, but maybe there's not. No, I think in terms of characters, the show is great. I mean, I love a touching moment with a character. Like it's, you know. Well, it's like the horrors of the show, like we have to have those to have moments like this be so good. Yeah. Like Aaron, the reason why I can stand by kind of like his moments, you know, is because like I empathize with them. And like these, you know, and then it's like I hated these fucking Titans so much. Now that I know they were just these little Eldians that are being like fucking coerced, and we don't know what Marley is like in terms of the people who have the Titan powers, really. Mm-hmm. Now you've seen the majority of the population, like they're in those ghettos essentially. Yeah. And it's just like Eldians. Yeah, the Eldians they live in these little Eldian communities, and they can't go outside without proper paperwork. It's basically like World War II Germany, like during the ghetto stage. Yeah. Except, you know, they use them as weapons. Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of slave labor. Yeah. Not so slaves, but yeah. It's I truly, for me, see
the whole Titans differently now.
I have to wonder though why. It could be dependent on when he got his ability, but the Beast Titan, while he's still in action, because seems a good bit older than the others.
He might have inherited his power older.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He may have just gotten it, like they planned it out, and then he got it later in life.
Yeah, like I don't know, like did everyone? I guess it makes sense because all the 9 Titans, I imagine they came out at once, so everyone would be. No, actually, I don't know.
Thing is if he's who I think he is, I guess maybe they indoctrinated.
Isn't that what you're?
Yeah, that's what the note is.
Okay.
But they may have waited longer to give him the abilities by indoctrinating him longer.
Okay.
To make more use of him, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones are just young, like shock troopers. Like you're just these young people, like, hey, you have to go do this. Mm-hmm. You go do it, and he's the one in command.
Yeah.
So to speak. If he's who I think he is, it would make sense.
Okay. Yeah, I just love that Ymir love letter moment myself as well.
I did. I thought that was like a very touching moment. It kind of reminded me of Commander Erwin, where he was giving up his dream in the confessions. Like, hey, I'm really not, this. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I'm really not this outstanding guy. I'm actually a con man, and I just convince people to go to their deaths, and I have to give up on this dream I've had my whole life, and kind of sucks. And Ymir's like, hey, my mom regrets I didn't get to marry you. Like, it's these touching, really humanistic moments that are very...
Yeah.
They're great.
So it'd be hard for me to just go back into a story structure to where we're following the scouts.
No, it's not going to be basic anymore.
Because it's just like, now there's a whole world out there.
It's stepped up. It's elevated.
Yeah.
That's what stories are supposed to do.
The only time I can do that is in Star Wars
you couldn't go back
and
on
in Supernatural.
the Eldritch...
The Eldritch brothers?
They can't go back on them. Like, we're just going to try to get our bodies back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it changes significantly at some point.
Yeah.
Like, they are still trying to get their bodies back, and it's a core part of the story that remains until the very end.
Yeah.
But it's much more than that. Like, them just going to these town, like, hey, what do you got?
Well, they're saving the world.
You got the Philosopher's Stones? What are you going to do with the Philosopher's Stones? Is that a real Philosopher's Stones? What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, that attitude changed once they found out what the Philosopher's Stones really were.
Yeah.
And then the shit changes later. Like, it's the whole story changes. So to me, once you find out this heavy shit, it's not just like, oh, hey, we gotta kill all these Titans.
Yeah.
It's, okay,
well, it's just like,
what are the Titans?
Can you? Well, I think you can better than I can normally. Can you get behind the show changing, like aligning now more with like a human antagonist? Which is, I don't want to say there's like one person. I don't know, but it seems like there are people. There's a civilization of bad people. So it changes almost the antagonist of the show, being like a mindless, faceless entity to an entity that we haven't seen that's across the sea. Mm-hmm. So I wonder how you felt about that.
I think it's good because to me it becomes to character development and characters and stories. I've always loved a good bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, if you just have these fucking things.
But Lake Placid is so good, Zach.
Well, Jaws.
Yeah.
But Jaws was.
The shark's a metaphor as well.
Way
right?
beyond Lake Placid, even though I like Lake Placid.
Oh, yeah.
But Jaws is way beyond that.
Yeah.
In terms of what it meant and how it meant it and how the characters developed and what the characters were to each other. Like, there's a lot of shit there that made it great. So, these fucking things for 4 seasons couldn't just be running around eating people.
Yeah.
So.
No, you're right. The pace of the show was done real well. Our heroes, and there were 199 people who were lost, and there were 9 who survived. That wasn't every single scout, but it was the elite. And even Erwin was saying that among the elite, there weren't many elite left because most of them died, and they were all just like the inexperienced kids, and even those kids died. So they're gonna have a freaking like a China. They're gonna have a China problem. They're gonna
Mika said was losing weight.
I'm sorry.
Mika said was losing weight.
Yeah, why do you think that?
I'm assuming because of stress.
I was thinking. To me, I don't know, but I was thinking it's because she heard what Aaron is saying. He's only got so many years to live, and now she's like freaking out.
Yeah, but. I don't know. They didn't really give us a time frame.
Yeah,
I just assumed she was worried about Aaron in general, like in the circumstances, and she was losing weight because she wasn't eating as much because she's stressed out.
Yeah.
In the cell.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get to the point where he's like, oh well, I only have 13 years left, she's like, no, you're wrong. Like, she didn't really look that much different than what she looks at the end of it.
Well, I don't think she looks different at all, but.
Well, you get bagged
okay.
And shit, but.
So why do you think Krueger knew about Mikasa and Armin, and he said you have to save them? They haven't been born. I have a theory, but can't say it because it would give away information.
I really don't know. I don't know enough about the Titan lore yet to really make a determination. I don't know why they're obviously they're important, but why they would be already in the knowledge of the Titans
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know that Armin becomes a Colossal Titan.
Like, how would he know?
Because he's an Ackerman.
Well,
I guess Ackermans have a certain role in things, but to me, it's just like, I don't know. I can't say because I don't know enough information to make a determination.
Okay, all right. But I guess what's interesting to me is like the Attack Titan, his Titan, he doesn't have the Founder yet, and of course they're all connected to the Founder.
He has the Founder.
Krueger doesn't, right?
Oh, you mean okay?
Yeah. So like, my only thing is the 9 Titans, like they have the ability to see like future memories, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like, it seems like all the Titans are connected with their past host.
It hasn't demonstrated that very much, though.
It hasn't demonstrated
that one time with him.
Yeah, it's only demonstrated. This is the only time I've seen that it...
Yeah.
At least so far that it's done it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, what the fuck does that even mean when I first saw it? You know what I mean? And I still don't have the answer to it, actually. I just have a theory.
You should write your theory down and put it in the cup with mine.
It's like a page. It's like an explanation of, like, different things. I don't... Yeah. I guess I could. I mean... I'm trying to think what I can say without spoiling one thing. Okay. I'm not going to do it, but honor system, I will say it, whether I'm right or wrong later on. Okay.